Hey, how's it going today, everybody? My name is Will Trent with the Filmmaker's Code, and today we're talking about shooting anamorphic. Anamorphic lenses were the original way of achieving widescreen, which is what happens whenever you see letterboxing on the top and bottoms of some of the films that you watch. Back in the day when we had square format 4:3 TVs, people didn't like how restricted and small the field of view was whenever they were watching their movies. So some filmmakers actually tried to cut the tops and bottoms of film strips off to give the illusion that the image was wider. And they only got away with that for about 5 minutes because people caught on really quickly that didn't really make a difference. So thus the anamorphic lens was created to squeeze an image from the sides to capture more information in the 4:3 aspect ratio. Then in post, the image was de-squeezed, resulting in a truly wider field of view, a 21:9 aspect ratio, and resulted in natural letterboxing. That was also whenever 16:9 displays were made so that they could fit both 4:3 and 21:9 images. I'm shooting on a spherical lens right now, but right here I have a Vazen Anamorphic lens. And before I pop this on to show you what the image looks like, I want to talk about a couple things. You're going to see on every anamorphic lens this squeeze factor right here. And this one in particular is 1.8 times. You may hear people call this a de-squeeze factor or maybe even a stretch factor. Either way, this number means that it squeezes the image horizontally by 1.8 times. And in post, you must de-squeeze the image by 1.8 times, which we'll go over how to do that later. There are particularly only 3 different squeeze factors in anamorphic lenses: 1.33 times, 1.8 times, and 2 times. Different squeeze factors will change your image in different ways, and we're gonna get into that right now once I pop this lens on. All right, you ready? Boom. All right, here we are shooting in anamorphic, and as you can see, we have letterboxing on the top and the bottom of the image. Now, what specifically does an anamorphic lens do to your image? The first thing that you're gonna notice is that FOV is a little bit wider. Hence, again, we're squeezing the image inward, which captures a wider field of view. The second thing that you're gonna notice is that the bokeh, I put my phone right here for reference, is ovular or cat's eye instead of circular like all of us are used to. And third, an anamorphic lens is what causes that very popular horizontal flaring that you see in things like action films. Now, which lens do you use? This is entirely up to you, of course, hence it is a stylistic choice. Anamorphic lenses are typically used in dramatic action films like John Wick. Though of course, it's not like you can't use an anamorphic lens on whatever film you're shooting. Just understand exactly what the lens does to your image and whether or not it adds and or fits the mood of your story. Now, most beginner cameras do not have a de-squeeze feature. If your camera doesn't have an anamorphic de-squeeze feature, you're gonna have to use an external monitor that does have this in order for your image to look normal while you're shooting. The Red Komodo, which is what I'm shooting on right now, has a de-squeeze feature which will automatically de-squeeze the image for me whenever I get to post. However, let's assume you don't have a de-squeeze feature and you rented out an anamorphic lens. Let's hop into Premiere and do some de-squeezing. All right, so here we are in Premiere and let's do some anamorphic de-squeezing. So whenever you get your image into Premiere, your footage is gonna look something like this. It's gonna be unsqueezed like this. I mean, it's gonna be squeezed like this, excuse me. And, you know, it's not gonna look good, right? All right, the first thing we need to do is this. We need to right-click this image, hit Modify, and Interpret Footage. Now, by default right here, if you look at pixel aspect ratio, this option is going to be selected for you. It's going to say Use Pixel Aspect Ratio from File. As I said before, the Komodo does have anamorphic mode, so in the metadata, it is understanding that the image is anamorphic and it's a 1.8 times squeeze. Whenever I pulled this footage into Premiere, it naturally came de-squeezed already. Maybe your camera does not have a de-squeeze function, so here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna right-click it, modify, interpret footage. We're gonna select the option Conform To, and then we're gonna hit this drop-down box right here. Okay, so here's where Premiere gets a little bit weird. As I said before, the 3 most common squeeze factors on anamorphics are 1.33 times, 1.8 times, and 2 times, right? Premiere's weird, and they only have 2 of the 3 options right here, 2 and 133. If you shot on an anamorphic lens that uses one of these 2 squeeze factors, well, then you're in luck, right? So if you're shooting on the series lenses, which most of them are 133, boom, all you gotta do, click on that option, hit OK, and bam, as you can see, the clip is de-squeezed by 1.33 times. Same thing with 2 times. If you, for some reason, got your hands on the Atlas Orion Anamorphics 2 times, or maybe you have a 2 times anamorphic adapter, boom, that's all you gotta do. Click on that, and the image is de-squeezed by 2 times. But let's say you're in a situation like me where none of your options are there, like 1.6 or 1.8. So this is what we gotta do. We're gonna drag our still squeezed footage into a new sequence.
Either drag it to drop media into new sequence or right click and new sequence from clip. What we need to do is go into sequence settings, and we're gonna look at our resolution right here. Specifically, we're going to be looking at our horizontal resolution. We're going to do some math here. So I'm going to open up a calculator, and we're going to multiply our horizontal number, our horizontal resolution, by the squeeze factor of the anamorphic lens that we're using. So in this case, 4,320, we're going to multiply it by 1.8 times because I was using a 1.8 times squeeze, right? I'm going to get 7,776. Okay, yes, the recommended to shoot 6K, so you know, that sounds, it's a little bit above 6K, which is fine. Your numbers are probably not going to be this high, of course, but yes, after doing the math, multiplying the horizontal resolution by the squeeze factor, and then we're gonna input that number into the horizontal resolution right here. We're gonna hit OK, and it's gonna give you this warning right here, blah, blah, just hit OK, ignore that. And now you're gonna see that the resolution, the horizontal resolution did change, but the clip itself did not. So we're gonna click on the clip. We're gonna go into effect controls right here. We're going to open scale, scale width, uncheck uniform scale. And then all we gotta do is adjust that width to the frame size, and boom. We have now de-squeezed the image, and now we can work around with this clip, get on with the edit. I can cut things up, I can color things, do whatever I need to do. All right, so that's how you de-squeeze your anamorphic footage.
All right, I hope you guys got something out of this video, and if you want to learn more about cinematography and shooting, be sure to check out our brand new $27 mini cinematography course in the top right corner and in the first link in the description below. Other than that, that's all I have for this video. If you have any more questions, please let me know, and I'll see you in the next video.